Coach, the club had a chance to follow, but I'm sure you're sitting there right now thinking you should have won this ball game. Kind of what was your message to the team after the ball game?
Well, I told them, as a position player group, and even our pitchers late, and everybody, and we stayed locked in. They did not put their head down. They did not feel sorry for themselves. And they competed throughout that whole game, which is a sign of a good team. And what it does for you, even though you're pissed off you lost that game, it made them work and use their bullpen. It made them, and we controlled the momentum of that game after the fourth inning. Once Carson Ligon came in and we got a hold, we controlled it. We were too far behind at that point.
Doug?
Coach, as you just mentioned, we had some guys struggle early, but Carson came in and today, and then counting Wednesday, he's giving you two really good outings.
Really good outing. Well, he's really good. He started out slow this year for us, had a tough outing or two, but this time last year was one of the better pitchers in the country, and so him being back, and he's just older, tough kid, made a lot of big pitches against good hitters tonight.
Tanner, you kind of referenced it a little bit. You made LSU go pretty deep into the pen tonight. What's going to happen in order to take the rubber match tomorrow?
We need a good start. We feel like we match up. There's two really good arms, two big pro guys going tomorrow in that game, and it's just who wants it more, who's going to compete more. I think you can tell it's two pretty evenly matched teams, but we're going to have to go out there and play better baseball than them, and that's that sounds very simple, but we got to play better defense, and we got to still have a couple of bats and opportunities, and you give them credit. And I think we didn't make an error tonight, but they make two big plays to get off the field in the seventh and the eighth. And their third baseman, the knock on him, I guess, has been he's just a hitter. But, man, every time I see him, he plays great defense. He made some unbelievable plays out there to help them win the game today.
Steve?
Coach, you've had some success against LSU in your time here. What is it about LSU maybe that brings out the best in Mississippi State?
I think you should probably ask Ron Polk and Skip Bertman. I think it goes back that far. We talked about it a little bit on Friday before the game. Like, this is what you grew up watching, especially when you were my age. It was Mississippi State and LSU. It's the blue bloods, the best of the best, and it's been a war for two games, and I expect nothing less tomorrow.
Danny P.
Coach, what about Cal? He came out, just didn't have his stuff today. Was it just location?
No.
Just going up too good?
I just lack of breaking ball. Just didn't have his breaking ball, and if you just he threw a couple that just were okay, and they hung and they hit them, and then he could get behind in counts, and they were just on the fastball. So Cal's one of our better guys. Didn't have a good stuff today, and we're going to need him next week.
Doug?
Coach, Bryce Chance, he's been up and down, but he just keeps giving you reasons to stay in the lineup.
Well, the nice thing for me is him and Downs and Kohler, and they're giving me more options right now. Dylan dove at first last night and banged up his knee a little bit. Nothing serious, but it lets me let Bryce get in. It lets me have some other guys. And a couple of weeks ago, I felt like I didn't have enough guys, and now I'm trying to squeeze in, hoping I can get more spots in the lineup for these guys.
Steve?
Luke Dotson came in a high leverage situation again and threw BBs out there for you. What are you seeing in his development right now?
And we're putting him in some tough spots. He's come in and performed. You get, in these moments, in these big atmospheres, you just want to see them be their true self, and I think that's what you're seeing with him. He goes out there and gives you the same thing that he would do if nobody was in the ballpark. And, man, what an unbelievable crowd we had tonight at the ballpark. And, even in the ninth inning after you're down 9-1 and you still have a ballpark full of fans, over spring break, that's pretty special.
Tanner, just kind of to clarify with Dylan, it sounds like a precautionary thing.
Yeah, he could have played tonight. If I needed him late, he could have played. So he just had a hard time running on it last night. I don't know if y'all saw him late. I didn't even know what was happening until he took a swing and ran to first, and he's limping. I don't think it's anything. It's day to day with him.
Steve?
You mentioned Dylan. He's made some big plays for you. Nolan Stevens, obviously, now Luke Dodson. What is it in the recruiting evaluation that you look for that enables these young guys to come in here and contribute as freshmen?
Well, our guys do a great job on the road. It's a lot about makeup. I think they obviously got to have talent, and all three of them were three of the best players in the country coming out of high school, and all three turned down the draft to come. But to be able to step on the field and play right away, it's about makeup, and they're just three tough-minded kids. Nolan being from California, but Dottie and Cup grew up playing together with East Cobb Astros, and I think Dylan Cup's probably played more games in the East Cobb organization than maybe anybody. And you play a lot of baseball, and those kids learn how to play the game. Nowadays you don't have as many kids that know how to play it, and those kids that come out of those programs, man, they're really talented.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Carson, I know your first few outings for you were a bit of a challenge, but this week you've had a really good week. What would you say is different this week compared to maybe the first few outings for you?
I think it was just a matter of getting my footing. I'd struggled with some stuff in the fall and in the early spring, and just getting my footing. And I'm still not all the way there. I'm still working on a lot of stuff, but getting back in there and putting up some zeros for first time in a while was pretty good.
Tanner, Bryce been an up and down a few weeks here, but you're able to get back in the lineup tonight. Go yard on pretty much, I think, your first at bat today. What was your kind of mental approach during that time?
Just getting back to what's been successful for me in the past. We're always trying to improve your swing, but it kind of got away from me there for a little bit. But just kind of went back to the basics of what has made me a good hitter in the past.
Doug?
This is both of you. As we've talked to the players this year, I've noticed the kind of a common theme that everybody brings up, that you play for each other and there's sort of a camaraderie there, a closeness. Can you talk about how that kept you together today when you fell behind early?
Yeah, I mean, this year especially, you see the energy in the dugout. So even the guys that aren't playing, and I've fallen into that and had to learn about that these past couple weeks of hey, no matter what, we're rooting for the guy that's out there right now, and if we can get behind him, he's going to put energy back into us, and we just keep feeding each other the whole game. And we were, everybody in the dugout that whole game when we were down, I think 9-1 at one point, was hey, we're going to find a way to get back in this. We just got to keep rolling, and I think we did a really good job of that today.
I think the biggest thing is you would have never known in that dugout that we were down 9-1. The whole time, you would have thought we were up at the end there, and we just had all the momentum and staying with each other and trusting each other and knowing we're going to put up good ABs and good innings. It's huge for a team to be successful that way because we were right there in it and we were really out of it at the beginning. So,
Steve?
Bryce, you've been a veteran of this league, and everybody talks about SEC Friday nights, but Sunday is a very intense day. No matter what happens the first 2 days, how do you maybe prepare some of these younger guys for the intensity of a rubber game on Sunday?
Well, it's just Coach Lamonis preaches a lot about you just take it one game at a time, and I know that's kind of cliche, but every game in this league matters. If you can get to a certain number of wins in this league, it puts you in a really good place at the end of the year. So if you can just chip away one game at a time, one pitch at a time, just keep moving forward and keep improving as the season goes on, we're going to be in a really good place.
Danny P?
First, you just talk about the bullpen in general, throwing up the zeros and giving your offense a chance to come back in that game.
We're blessed with a bullpen that has so much depth. There's tons of guys in our staff that could start any game and be successful, and we're probably one of the only teams in the country that has that depth. So, being able to rely on all the guys behind you and coming out and feeling comfortable with the guy behind you is going to put up a zero, it's a great feeling, and that's pretty much our pitching staff right there. So,
Steve?
Carson, along those lines too, when you were struggling a little bit, Coach Barker put you back out there and just kind of let you work through it. I know, throwing a lot of pitching is how you improve for the most part, but what kind of mentor has he been for you through these last few weeks?
he's been great, and he's not let me keep my head down, and I would say it's probably the most I've struggled in my college career, and we were right back to working the next day after hours, and he's been huge and constantly keeping text with me and conversation and just staying with me every day and saying he believes in me and the team believes in me and the guys around me believe in me, and it's big, so it's great to have him here.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.